Dudes, what's up? Tumbleweed, by the way. I couldn't think of tumbleweed. Boy, if you're just listening to my Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic commercials, I'm just correcting myself from the last one. Tumbleweed. Listen, you got to listen to the whole show. And you got to go to the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Because, like, if you're just feeling blah and like, what is going on? I'm just not myself. And it's the holiday season. You should be looking at lights and be like, that's awesome. I feel like a man. And if you look at those lights, like, it's just like, it's time to go to bed. The Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, you just have low T. And it just might be that. If you're having a hard time getting in the holiday season, don't be a Grinch. Be cool. I don't know what the opposite of Grinch would be. Be happy. Be Griswold. Don't be a Grinch. Be Griswold. Clark Griswold. He seemed to like Christmas. And if low T's got you down, go to the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic website, RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Take the low T quiz, 10 questions, yes or no. You're going to draw your blood, give you your results in 30 minutes, and they're going to get you on the right path. So don't go another season with low T. Embrace the spirit of the season with the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. 720-440-7900, RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Sean just said something really interesting in his press conference.
He's right.
Yeah. We'll get into it. Did you catch that, Dan? Or we'll bring it up. We just got it. Hey, Mountain High Appliance, we love you. You're the best. Let's football go. Come on, Dan.
All right, guys, let's hear from Vance Joseph. He's talking about Pete Carroll and Greg Olsen and the Raiders offense.
He's an experienced guy. Obviously, he's been a good coach for a long time, Mike. Watching the game from last week, some things are very similar and some things aren't, and that's the new NFL, in my opinion. Every week is something new you have to adjust to. So I'm just going to wait and see what he gives us and kind of adjust, accordingly. But he's a good football coach, and their best player is Bowers, obviously, and a runner. So our main thing is to not let Bowers beat us, in any capacity, first, second, or third down. That's our first goal. Stop the run, pressure the quarterback.
All right, so VJ said the first goal is to not let Brock Bowers beat us. Who do you guys expect to be the primary defender on Brock Bowers?
I think Pat Surtain will have a significant amount of responsibility. I can't say he's going to be like 50% of the snaps or more, something like that, because that's kind of hard and probably ridiculous to predict. But I do think Surtain will have responsibilities on Bowers that go above and beyond what he normally would do against tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be a guy. It's, when you cover tight ends, it's tough because formations dictate who's going to cover it. What coverage did you have called is going to be a big impact. You don't know the play until after you've already called the coverage. So to whatever degree they want to try to create one-on-ones, they can try to put Pat Surtain down there in the box. But, that's not what they did last time they played him. And I would expect it to be a pretty similar game plan because it worked out last time.
Next story.
All right, do you guys remember the incident between Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur Sanders on the sideline where Jerry Jeudy was yelling at Shedeur? Here is Jerry Jeudy a little bit earlier this week, but I did want to get your guys' thoughts on this, on the incident and what maybe – listen to who he blames here for this incident.
Probably talk to him off camera, you feel me? That's probably what I would have done differently, Of course, I'm going to speak my mind and tell me what and say what I need, what I see out there. But it what it is. Football, man. Just me and Shedeur are good. It's stuff like that happens. Y'all gonna make it bigger than what it is. Because the media. That's what y'all feed off of, negativity. But it is what it is. This is the life we live. So we move on from it. And I live a real life. So what happened around in this locker room, this real. Not what's going on social media and everything. So. Me and Shedeur good, everything good, man. We gravy over here.
All right, so we kind of blaming the media there for overblowing this. Just thoughts on Jerry Jeudy's comments there. And also, guys, looking back to when Sean Payton got rid of Jerry Jeudy, is that one of the more underrated things that Sean has done during his time with the Denver Broncos is really get his guys, get the right guys in that locker room and get rid of the Jerry Judys of the world?
Yeah, you got to get rid of bad apples. And there's always an equation for the headache versus the talent formula, but Jerry Jeudy's headache was bigger than the talent. So it was not worth it. It just was not worth it. You didn't want it in the locker room anymore. Ironically, now, okay, let me throw a caveat on here before I say this. I don't know what the relationship is between Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur Sanders. However, if you want to give it the benefit of the doubt, you say there's genuine, authentic, mutual respect between the two men, okay? If there's genuine respect between the two guys that is in the locker room, off the field, all that stuff, I don't think the interaction was that big of a deal. I've seen a million of those. It's not that big of a deal. Tempers flare in the NFL. We see Bo Nix yell at Sean Payton. We see vice versa. This stuff happens. It's an emotional sport, man. You come to the sideline. Now, if there's not mutual respect, then it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And only those two guys know if there's true mutual respect between them.
Yeah, that's a great question. Great point. Hey, you could say whatever you want about Jeudy, and it wasn't working here in Denver. It wasn't. So it was a good move to get rid of him. But Jerry Jeudy's a legit NFL receiver, okay? I mean, he has his mental midget moments. There's no doubt about it. But the dude can play. We don't know if Shedeur Sanders can play quarterback in the NFL. So what you saw on that sideline very well could have been a frustration of a guy who is a legit NFL guy with a dude he might not have respect for, Tyler, in all honesty. But that being said, blow-ups on the sideline, come on, man. You can't put too much into it. But I don't necessarily believe that everything's hunky-dory between Shedeur and Jerry Jeudy. I don't.
Well, then it's a big deal. If there's not mutual respect, then it's a huge deal.
Yeah, I think it's fair to question if there's mutual respect when one guy's an established student and another guy's not. I mean, I get it, sort of. Next story, Dan.
All right, guys, we do have the audio you were referencing from Sean Payton's press conference today. Shout out to KJ.
Still going on right now.
It's still going on.
By the way, last week, a minute 24 was his Friday press conference. A minute 24. Unbelievably short. And this one's...
this answer is 40 seconds.
He's going on today. He's feeling his talking points today.
So here is Sean. This is him talking about referencing the no call on the Commanders to end the game on Sunday Night Football.
Man, we keep going. And when some of them come in, then you just keep competing. The Benito batted down ball. Take a look at the underneath crossers going after our safety, and tell me what you think. Anyone seen that play?
He did.
Yeah.
Take a flag, should have been. Take flag.
You can't block someone. Like you can run at him and avoid him, but that's significant if he's able to get the ball off. You know what I mean? That's the end of the game. Anyway,
Sean,
what do you got?
Fun. I got to admit, man, I've rewatched it, but I just have been watching the ball and Benito and sort of the free release and all that, Tyler. I actually have not sort of sat there and looked like, oh, what else was going on that play?
So I don't know about the play itself because I'm with you. I didn't necessarily catch it on that play, but I do know the entire game there was a problem with it. The entire game. I mean, look at the touchdown the Pat Surtain gave up. He got blown up on it, it was going on the entire game. It was clearly something they game planned because they know that the Broncos like to run a lot of certain types of coverage and they get these guys in this situation. And it's effective game planning. However, you cannot just run into the guy. You can't run into him. That's a flag.
I kind of love that moment right there from Sean because he's sort of like, hey, man, I know I can't complain about things because we won and things went our way, but he's still taking a shot at the officials right there, basically. And he definitely opens up like a conspiracy door. Like, are the NFL officials and the NFL still out to get Sean Payton? Like, I know that was a big rumor back in the day. Like, hey, man, these guys are not Sean Payton friendly based on his past. And I wonder if Sean sort of thinks about that too. So I'll go back and watch that. I'll be curious to go see like what was really, Dan, I don't know if you could pull it up. Maybe you could, and we can just look at it right now. But I do love that about Sean, that he he wants to put that out into the public forum, Tyler. Like, it's kind of like cool and petty all at the same time.
Oh,
like,
he petty.
That's Sean, isn't it? So, all right, Dan, go ahead. Next story. Well, I don't want to ruin you. Are you trying to look it up?
I got it.
Get the video?
I got the play. Yeah, you're talking about the final play of the game, right?
Let's look. We'll do a little play-by-play of it. Tyler, maybe you can help us out play-by-play wise.
Okay. Well, we got trips left. We've got. I didn't see it.
Yeah, what's he talking about here?
Go back to the other. Well, I don't think go back to the other angle.
All right, we're going back. Now, you mentioned the safety, what he did to our safety.
You got your tight end coming over the top of the
number
right.
One. Yeah. He held him. Watch it again. Number one held him. Watch right here, right there. He held him.
I don't think that's what he was talking about. He was talking
about look what he did on our safety. And that am I wrong on that? Is that not the safety? Right there. I mean, I think that's got to be what he's talking about.
He bumps into the guy coming across the middle of the field. Up top. Look up top.
Okay, I'll go play it again, Dan. Play it again. All right, I'm looking up top. Oh, look at that.
No, not yet. You haven't seen it yet.
Oh, that not to Hufunga right there?
Right there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, look, they were doing those things all game long, and You just got to get called, and especially when there's that. Part of that is on in-game coaching for the Broncos, though. If you notice that, if you see your guys are getting picked, you got to start alerting those referees. Like, hey, it's happening. Get your eyes open for it.
Should a flag been called on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Sean wins again. Last one. Here we go, Dan.
All right, this is kind of interesting, guys. You were talking a little bit earlier about the quarterback draft class for 2026. Well, NFL teams hope that the top quarterback prospects stay in college and skip the 2026 NFL draft. So league executives are encouraging eligible quarterbacks to return to college rather than enter the underwhelming 2026 draft class, hoping additional development time benefits both players and NFL teams. The Athletic is reporting that teams view the current crop of draft-eligible quarterbacks as largely unready for the NFL. We've got Indiana's Fernando Mendoza, Oregon's Dante Moore, Alabama's Ty Simpson, South Carolina's Lenoris Sellers, and Arch Manning out of Texas.
All those guys have more time left that they could spend?
They've drawn a lot of interest. That's a good question. I don't know if any of them have more eligibility, but one league executive told The Athletic, quote, "It doesn't benefit us in the NFL if all these guys come out early and aren't ready. I don't know why any of them would consider leaving."
I guess I'd have to. I'm not that savvy on the draft right now. How many of those guys have eligibility and how many don't? Does Fernando Mendoza? Well, first of all, Fernando Mendoza should definitely come out. He's going to be the first quarterback taken.
That's the thing. Like, it's easy to tell these guys to not come out, but if you're in a weak class and you happen to be the best that's available,
right,
you're an idiot to not come out.
Exactly. What, the Raiders aren't going to draft a quarterback this year? Really? Seriously?
Now, it might be the best thing for your long-term development to stay another year, maybe, but you don't pass on an opportunity to be a top 5 pick.
Hell no. No. That's weird advice, man. I mean, who are you talking to?
Mendoza does have one more year of eligibility left.
Wow. That's actually
so. Is this going to be
amazing.
A trend moving forward? Like, is this the Bo Nix model where these NFL execs and coaches want these guys to cook an extra year in college so that they're more ready and can play right away when they enter the NFL?
I mean, I think every league exec would prefer to have as much of experience as possible, but I don't think anything's new there.
The Giants are probably going to stick with Jackson Dart. Okay, fine. The Saints, they drafted a quarterback?
Yeah.
Probably, right? Commanders, nope. How about the Cardinals? I saw that.
They will draft a quarterback.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're getting close to Kyler Murray getting out his baseball cleats. Minnesota,
maybe.
And that's about it there. Tennessee, no, I don't think. Cam Ward, we're sticking with Cam Ward, right?
Yes.
Vegas, got to. Cleveland. What is Cleveland going to do?
Oh, Cleveland will, in all likelihood. I mean, if they're in position to get a top one, they will.
We're just ditching Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Yeah, Deshaun's not going to play this year.
Can't? Well, you sure?
Well, no, I'm not positive, but I mean, my gut feeling tells me. Do you know the insurance policy deal that they have on him?
I don't know.
Well, this is why I don't think that he's going to play.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, don't quote me on these exact numbers, but Deshaun's making like 44, right? And they had an insurance policy if he got hurt that was going to pay them out like $41 million. So they basically have covered the cash entirely of what they were supposed to pay him based off the insurance policy. If they designate him as healthy to return to play, that insurance policy is no longer going to pay out for the year.
Okay.
Would you play him?
No, I would not. No. Nope. I would not. I don't know, man. A weak quarterback class. If you're Fernando Mendoza, that's interesting. He's got another year. That's pretty impressive what that dude has done. Pretty impressive. But I think if you like Kenny Pickett in a really weak class, he was still the first quarterback taken. What do you go back to school for another year if you're Kenny Pickett to marinate? But you're still going to be, I get it. You're not number one. I think he went like 15. Nobody's turning down that money. You'd be an idiot to turn down that money, Tyler. Who would do it?
You just cannot turn down draft position. No. That's what it comes down to. When you got pole position, you don't turn that down.
Well, that's why what happened last year in last year's draft was so stunning with Shedeur. I mean, say whatever you want, but who of us really thought he would slip, frankly, out of the first round? Not me. I mean, maybe he drops a little bit in the first round, okay. But falling out of the first round, Tyler? I mean, come on, man. Like, that was shocking. You got the Trump story there too, Dan, or not? No, the Trump thing is funny. He was doing some sort of, I don't know, World Cup thing.
Soccer deal.
Coach and Raj seem to be really into it.
They were giving us soccer updates on the way in. I was like, that's what I need, boys.
What was going on? There was a soccer draw for the World Cup?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, they know that, like, they get all the nuances. They know what groupings they want to be in. They know the matchups that they want. Yeah, good for them.
I thought Rocky updates were rough. So Trump gets up there and he's like, the NFL should just come up with a different name. This should be football and forget the NFL. They should change their name. I'm like, well, you're embracing the moment, I suppose. But like,
yeah, that's the most anti-American thing Trump's ever said.
I mean, you're appealing to that particular audience in front of you. How do you think it would go over with football fans to change the name of football?
And what else would we call it?
It is a good question. What should the proper name of football actually be?
American football. What should the
because
proper
he does have a point.
I get it. It's a Nate Bargatze sketch. It's George Washington sketch. You know, like, we're going to play football. It's going to be played with our feet. No, this is literally a sketch by Nate Bargatze. It's one of the things. We're gonna use our feet sometimes. Sometimes the points are going to be 1. Sometimes they're going to be 3. We're occasionally going to use our feet. I mean, I get it. But what else would you call football?
I don't know. I'm going to AI on this. What should American football really be called? Hand egg? What?
What?
Armored. Shut up, AI. Armored rugby, tackle ball. It could be called tackle ball.
Yeah. Hey, let's go watch some TBL this weekend. You know, the old tackle ball league.
Gridiron football.
Yeah. Glad you could figure that one out.
Throw ball.
Throw
ball. All right. Anyways, we got Nate and Andy. They're out. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Thank you, Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Remember to enjoy responsibly. Nate and Andy are going to be live from the Old Man Bar in Broomfield today, and they're giving away Bud Light VIP tailgate passes and a pair of tickets to the the Jags-Broncos game. Great specials on Bud Light starting at 3. That's the Old Man Bar in Broomfield. Hey, Tyler, is Vic Lombardi an old man?
He's young at heart. I'll give him that.
Okay. Because
Scott's just an old man.
Scott's an old man.
Yeah, I mean, he's an old man.
Okay. Vic, though. Is Vic an old man?
I think he's kind of young at heart,
okay.
So I'm going to go with no.
Agreed. It kills me that Vic calls himself constantly an old man.
Well, okay. Well, all right. Well, let's get down to the details here. How old is Vic and how old are you, since you're getting sensitive about it?
The same exact age.
Oh, so you're like 55.
We're 56.
56. Oh, wow, you are old.
And what, Dan? And Moser, all three of us are the same exact age.
56. Wow.
Me, Moser, and Vic all graduated high school in 1987.
I was 2.
I don't care how old you were.
Dan, how old are you?
What was it, 87?
Yeah, correct.
Minus
should be
4,
easy math.
-4.
-4.
Well, you guys missed a lot. My point is, we're not old.
It is amazing how old I used to think 40 was. Now that I'm
right?
40, I'm like 40. Like I'm just starting life. I'm just like I haven't even hit the halfway point. I hope.
I'm hearing Vic's like, "Hey, they're at the Old Man Bar. Shouldn't an old man like me be at the Old Man Bar?" I'm like, "Shut up, Vic. You're not an old man." He likes to play this "I'm an old guy" sort of thing.
No, but you're a little bit older than he is.
I don't think so.
What defines old man?
Yeah, see that you're not getting it.
I'm a little bit older than he is. I guess I'm not getting that.
It's not about the calendar age.
Yeah, when do you become an old man? Like, what's the definition of that?
Dude, I'm living my best life like I was 25 all over again. If I'm old, then there's a problem defining what old is. What am I missing here? You're smiling at me. You got this
Nothing.
shizzle-eating grin.
Nothing.
By the way, what are you doing with your beard? You're growing that back, huh?
I don't know.
Look at
Maybe.
you.
Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay.
I got a.
You got some decisions to make
I'm seeing
here.
my barber next week.
You got some decisions to make. I can see.
I mean, I gotta. If I am growing it out, I gotta shape it in a little bit.
Yeah. You got to. What are you gonna do?
This is the longest it's been in a long time.
It's noticeable now.
Yeah.
It's noticeable now.
I got to do TV with it like this tomorrow.
Okay,
I'm not doing anything about it for TV. I'll just tell you that.
How much are you guys actually going to be on TV when you're doing the TV?
Probably
things?
a total of 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You are doing TV though tomorrow. Boy, you got.
They are bringing me.
You got a long day.
They're bringing me an altitude quarter zip.
Okay.
The biggest they got is XL. We'll see how we do.
Oh my God! You just have to paint that on yourself. You're just gonna pull it on.
I guess so.
Like every ripple. Well, yeah, I've been working out. It's not like you haven't been working out.
I do like the mediums, anyways. Though.
There you go.
They do look good on me.
Sure. Make an Instagram post.
Yeah, should.
Are you in a indoor or outdoor box at Fort Collins?
Well, they're all indoor, outdoor. I mean,
They're going to keep the windows open.
Yeah. I mean, that's what almost all broadcasters keep the windows open.
Okay. All right.
I remember when I first started doing it with Logan and we did some freezing games out there in Kansas City and stuff.
What are we doing?
Like, why are these windows open? What is going on?
Too funny. All right, quick break. We're back with Nate and Andy coming up next. It's the old man. That's where Nate and Andy are going to be, and we'll hear from them here shortly. Actually, what am I doing? I don't have to be over here.
Hey, can I just get I was going to use this during No Dumb Questions, but we actually went like...
Yeah, you had one.
We went Woosah mode, and mine was like the opposite of Woosah mode.
Andy, by the way, is here. Is Andy... Well, we can see him. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I know that you're a happily married man, and you've probably never had to do such thing here.
Okay.
Have you ever in your life had to change a duvet cover? In your entire life?
A lot.
Is there anything in life more humbling,
dude,
and more
by myself?
Mentally
have I ever done it by myself?
Than changing a duvet cover by yourself?
Oh, I've never done that.
That might be top 5 worst experiences of my life.
I don't think it can be done.
Oh, it can be done. I got it done this morning. I got it done, but it took me about 30 minutes to get it done. And I mean, I knew all the tricks and stuff, you know.
Yeah. You gotta push it in.
Got a lady friend that taught me the tricks, you know, but it just doesn't work the same way for a male's mind as it does for a female's mind. And changing a duvet cover, I've decided, is going to be in the 5th layer of hell, and they're going to make you do that for all of eternity.
Yeah, because inevitably you're just going to have all the inside and then just a flap of nothingness.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, there are little ties that you can tie the corners, but like getting them to the corners, I did learn the trick. The trick is to turn the cover inside out and then put the cover on.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I did. I knew it going into today.
Okay.
It still did not come out the way I wanted it to.
Right, because there's a whole, you gotta kind of both hold and both shake to like even it out.
Yeah.
No, even doing it, it's torture to do. I can't believe you even took that on.
Well, what took it on? Like
you had to do it. It was one of the moments. We got to get clean eventually.
I mean, all I'm going to say is like I made my life as simple as possible, and all of a sudden you invite somebody else back into your life, and all of a sudden it gets a little bit more complicated. Hey. I didn't have a duvet cover. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, that's probably for the right reasons.
Yeah,
that's good. Look at Andy. Absolutely clueless.
Andy's not changing any duvet covers.
Hell no. He'll just get a new blanket.
Somebody asked me if that was a humble brag. A humble brag about a duvet cover?
We're just staring at Andy. All right. Hey, high school games.
High school games.
Talk to us. What do you got going?
We got Palmer Ridge versus Dakota Ridge in the 4A game. Mm-hmm. And got a really good quarterback playing in that one, and Zeke Andrews. Zeke's with Ross Valley. I apologize. We got the 5A game. We've got the Ralston Valley versus the Cherry Creek High School Bruins. Why am I drawing a blank on Ralston Valley's mascot right now? I feel terrible about that.
Tigers?
I'm gonna get that figured out by tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to figure that out by tomorrow. I promise you that much.
All right.
I'm excited, man. I've done this a handful of years with Vic. Vic and I have called these games a handful of reasons.
That's cool.
Or a handful of seasons.
Yeah, and reasons.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of close. It was like one letter off.
Close enough.
Yeah. They're fun, man. It's a blast. And I'm telling you, Altitude does a great job of covering it. The TV quality, the production quality is first class. It's kind of fun getting on the other side of it, like getting all the production and seeing all the stuff that goes into it, and all these text threads and everything. Look, man, Cherry Creek's top dog. And Ralston's fighting an uphill battle. But Ralston's had a really, really good season. They beat our very own Mike Sanford earlier in the season.
They did? Yep.
They beat the Valor Christian Eagles. And they really dominated the game from the way I understand it. I didn't see it. Apologize, Mike. But just looking at it, it looks like they handled their business relatively well. So I think they've got a fighting chance. But Creek's definitely their top dog. Do you know how many kids? I know you know this. Rhetorical question.
Go ahead.
Do you know how many kids signed a Division I scholarship off Cherry Creek senior class? A couple days ago. 10 kids in one senior class.
That's amazing.
Is going Division I football, brother. It's Division I football. Dude.
That's incredible.
These powerhouse schools out in like California, like Modern Day, schools like that, they don't put out 10 kids in one class. IMG Academy might not put out 10 kids in one class that is going to Division I.
That's awesome.
It's absolutely insane.
How many state titles would be? Hey, Andy joins us too. Hi, Andy, at the Old Man. How many state titles does Dave has as a coach?
Oh gosh, I know the answer to that, but I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. It's like 6 at Creek. He's got like 3 at Mullen. He's got 1 at Chatfield. He's got 1 at Arvada West.
We're in double digits though.
He's got a state championship every single school he's coached at.
The boys are with us. They're doing the 3A game. How's that going, guys? You guys
Mustangs, Ralston Valley Mustangs.
Mustangs. Okay.
The Stangs.
Yeah, you guys are. You guys got 3A, right?
We do. Windsor Pomona tomorrow at 10 a.m. on AM 950 and on the Altitude 2 television. I guess they decided they wanted to, put the Avalanche game or something like that on the big altitude. So we got relegated to Altitude 2. But, yes, we're there tomorrow.
All right. You guys excited? Andy, how you doing, man? You look good, by the way.
I'm here. We're doing it. We're rocking.
Oh, boy. You're getting worse, buddy.
Nah, I better not. I got steroids today.
No,
so
you're
sound better.
I mean, listen. I just get to keep it real with you. That you're sounding worse.
I think he looks jacked, though. I think the steroids are doing what they're supposed to do.
My throat is all veiny and weird.
Andy sounds like he's been sitting at the old man bar here in Broomfield
I
for
don't
the
know what
last
to tell you,
35 years.
I have now gone to 2 medical experts, and they've both been like, look, you got laryngitis. I don't know what to tell you.
Andy sounds like he woke up at a bowling alley today in
I know.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
In this bar / beer garden that we're at, this is how everybody sounded in the 80s because everybody was smoking. Everybody was doing something in the bathroom.
Oh,
DMac
man.
knows. He was in a few of those bars.
It was.
Hey,
this is my kind of spot, by the way. Do you guys see the backgrounds
Yeah.
behind us? By the way,
that's great.
The wood paneling. This place is a capital B bar, man. I
does look
love
cool.
this joint. Great beer garden out back, by the way. I got to get out here when the weather's a little warmer. They got smoked wings on the menu. They got paper towels on all the tables. It's a Bud Light Football Friday. Old man bar here in Broomfield. This place rules.
Hey, this
does
ain't your
it not-
Cherry Creek bar, I'll tell you that.
That's
Okay.
right, man.
I'll tell you
all
what,
right.
at Cherry Creek
Hey.
wins tomorrow. They're not stopping at the old man on the way home.
This is a
but I
blue
bet you
collar bar.
if Ralston Valley wins, they're showing up and taking over the place.
I'm glad we know where the high school kids are going to go after the game.
Can I
and
go
drink.
back
They're
to
not
the
getting
smoke?
served, but they're here.
They're here.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's all right. I think the rule is,
Gotcha.
I think it's like at 10 o'clock when you got to be carded and all that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Like if
Gotcha.
you're serving food, some people, it's a full
So
restaurant.
you're saying the dads and the uncles wearing their affliction T-shirts from Ralston Valley are just going to
Whoa,
run
Ralston
rampant?
Valley's not wearing affliction,
Listen.
buddy.
Oh, they're
Listen.
not.
No.
Yeah, no.
All
Are
right.
we not in the Tree of Trust? We're in the Tree of Trust. You want to know how I learned basic lacrosse formations? I had a coach that took me to the Mickey Mouse bar off Federal, in North Denver, and we were put in the back. I was not to be the first guy seen when they came in, but he had out the sugars and the salts, and he was drawing up clears, and here's how we're running our offense. That's just how it goes sometimes, DMac.
And were you
Don't
smoking a
worry.
couple cigs
What, are
with
you a
them
cop?
also?
You a detective? Don't you worry about who's in here.
I'm not worried about any of it. It's all good.
Oh, did you see that bar at ASU
So
that
if
had
we want to come in here and
252
celebrate
kids?
a football championship and get tattooed, that's what's going to happen.
I'm sorry. I've got cross conversations
No, don't
here.
worry about it. Don't
Something
worry
with ASU. Hey, it's KKSC FM HD1 Broomfield.
Don't tell me, Boston guy, you
Denver.
weren't in a bar or two you weren't supposed to be in.
No, I was in the suburbs.
Oh, you were
dude.
playing tennis in Greenwich. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No, man. Oh, tennis in Greenwich. Yeah, okay.
He had a polo match on Cape Cod that he had.
Yeah,
just
you had
curious.
A mimosa.
Just
You
curious.
snuck a mimosa you weren't supposed to have.
Hey, Andy, how white collar are clammers? I'm just curious. What do you think the snoot range there is on clammers?
Are you trying to make us think that
I
you
know
were
if
the
you're hanging out
clamor?
with clammers. If you're hanging out with clammers and crabsmen, you are in a bar like this. I am positive of it.
Listen, trust me, I might have snuck into the Shote Bridge pub once in a while before I was 21. That might have happened in good old Ipswich. But I don't know if I was in the old man bar, that's for sure.
Did you get a 3-2?
A 3-2.
You were old enough to get 3-2 beer, right?
3-2
You just
beer?
got done
No,
telling
I
Tyler how
wasn't-
you don't want Vic being an old man anymore.
Yeah, I'm not that
You're
old.
of the 3-2 era.
No, I was not in the 3-2 era. I was not in the 3-2 era. I know what you're talking about. I was not there.
3-2 beer.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Like you could get it at 18, right?
Not when I was 18,
I
Andy.
was having it at 12. What do you think of that? That's why I sound like this today.
All right, how old is old? Like, Vic is the same age as me, and he's screaming this morning about the bar you're at. Like, how can you have those guys at the old man bar? Don't you need an old man? And I'm like, well, listen, Vic, stop talking about yourself as an old man. We're the same age. But the question is, how old is an old man? Tyler
got
said
a few old guys here, I'd say.
There's
got
old
a
guys
few
in
young
here.
guys, too.
Is
Yeah.
it
an
more?
eclectic collection.
Yeah.
Is it an age or an attitude to be an old man?
Both. I'm a proud old man. I don't care.
I would say Andy's by age an old man, and I am by attitude an old man. I would say, but by those definitions, that's how we make it into the old man bar.
So wait, how? Andy's an old man by age?
Yes.
Dude, I'm 51. That ain't spry.
Nah, Andy's young, though. Andy's young.
Yeah.
No, you know what's funny, DMac? I was watching, because you brought up Nate Bargatze a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Another one of his reels popped up on Instagram. He talked about the difference when you going to get your physical. He's like, before 40, it's just a drive-through window, and after 40, he's like, lock the door. We're about to get after it in here. I say everybody that's about to get after it at the doctor's office and get all sorts of oil pressures checked, they're here. They're at this bar.
All right, boys, we'll let you go. Have a great
That
time.
makes you old, right?
I'm not old. I'm insulted being called old. I'm seriously. No
Yeah,
way.
you're
No,
really
Okay,
old.
when does
No
old
way.
start? When do you think old starts?
I have no idea when old
All right,
starts, but I'll tell you.
here's
I'll
how
give you a
you
quick
know.
Quick story. I'm at an IHOP the other day. Wait.
See, that makes you old as it is.
Old.
No,
Who the hell's going to an IHOP?
I was
You
hold
got-
on,
you-
hold on. I was at the IHOP because I was getting my bike checked that I ride around on, and I had to kill some time. Huh? So I'm at the IHOP, and they have a 55+ menu that might save you like $2.50 off an item.
Did you order from it?
Would you have ordered from it if you were me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, take the discount.
Hell no.
No, that just means you know what that
no.
means? That's affirmation that you're old because you
Hey,
get dumber when
You
you
know
get
what that
old.
means, Tyler? That means he is from Greenwich, Connecticut, because he doesn't
Yep.
care about his $2.
Also
Yeah.
true.
That $2 adds up.
Nobody
Hey,
brags.
You want to know else? Let me ask you this. I'll give you and Tyler, maybe this goes for you too, my friend. I think you're doing all right now, but just in case it decides to whip a 180. If you're too old, if you know you're the dude at the club we all laughed at because you're at the club, you're too old. You're old.
Yeah, don't worry, you won't catch me at a club.
I'm
No,
going.
I
I'm
can
going to
see
a
it.
club right now. There's a rave starting in 15
Yeah,
minutes.
You're going to the tennis club up there in Highlands Ranch where you live. You're going to go get a spry game of pickleball in, and then you're going to have a Bloody Mary and go see what the rest of the week. Now, you know, you're probably having a nice spritzer Chardonnay. aren't you?
Hey, Andy, I don't live
No,
in
he's having a
Highlands.
Sanka over at Denny's. That's
You
what he's
are a
having.
wine guy. Don't act like you're not wine
Don't
guy.
accuse me of being a Highlands Ranch. You know I live in Lone Tree.
That's even, I think that might be a step snootier above.
course it
You
is.
got like a multi-tiered Target where they deliver the cart to you.
The land of a single tree.
I know exactly where you are. You're by Stink. Yeah, you're by
am.
football players, hoity-toity.
That's true.
I went to an IHOP. I'm not old. I bet you half the kids in the audience, anybody that's under 30 doesn't even know what IHOP stands for.
All right, I think we're done. Enjoy your show. Goodbye.
And with that,
The days when DMac storms out of crosstalk are the best.
are the days. Those are the days.
Those are the days.
Well, dude, you probably shouldn't bring up, am I old or not? No, that's a dangerous question. It's like your wife asking if her behind looks fat in those pants.
If you didn't want the answer,
Then
you
don't
shouldn't
ask
have
the
asked the
question.
question.
That's what I'm saying. And again, when you say anything that said, I went to the IHOP or I stopped by the library,
God, I could go for an IHOP right now.
I bet you when he got done with the IHOP, he was over there having some microfiche. He was reading some old articles on the microfiche.
I love going to the library too.
Those
Are both things. That's
Well, you
why
and I
I'm.
embrace that we're old.
This is why that I qualify as an old man because I miss microfiche too. The machine was fun. The whole process was fun.
If you and I were to remake the movie Seven, you'd definitely be Morgan Freeman.
What's in the box?
Yeah, that'd be me.
What's in the box?
I'm pulling that trigger. I'd have done exactly what he did, and that wouldn't have taken me as long. Excuse me, what now? What's over there? You're done. Pop.
Yeah, you are Brad Pitt, the stressed out,
I am.
jumpy
And
guy.
you know what? I'm tossing that thing and I'm leaving.
I'm Morgan Freeman. I'm
You're
a
not
week away
driving
from
me
retirement.
back in some car. I'm going on the lam. I'll be in Oregon up there somewhere.
It is a Bud Light Football Friday, and we are live at the Old Man Bar here in Broomfield. In all seriousness, this place kicks ass.
It's a great bar.
I love this spot. The collection, first off, They have an old-style sign up directly behind me, fully Kreuzen, naturally carbonated, so they got the slogan from the can. In addition to that, they have a Schmitz sign. They have a Meisterbrow sign. If you never got drunk on Meisterbrow when you were 17, you didn't live.
3-2, baby.
They have an Olympia sign. It is the water. This place absolutely rules. And it's a Bud Light football Friday, and they got great beer specials on Bud Light. So come hang out here today. And so many of the people here at the Old Man Bar, and the crowd is only growing as the afternoon gets cranking here, have signed up because you can sign up. We're giving away a Bud Light VIP tailgate pass and a pair of tickets to the Broncos-Jaguars game. Great specials on Bud Light all day long, so come hang out with us here at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield. This place absolutely rules. We are so happy to be with you here this afternoon. We're getting you set for Broncos-Raiders coming up here on Sunday. Andy, let's start here. I wrote down a very specific list of what I want to see in this game on Sunday between the Broncos and the Raiders. But I'll start with you. What is something you need to see in this football game on Sunday?
See, it's a tough question for me to answer because what I'd like to see and what I listen, we are 12 games into this football season, and I think I know what this team is.
Yeah.
All of us, let's be honest about it, all of us are waiting for an offensive explosion. We're waiting for the Raiders to be embarrassed by halftime like that 2010 game. Remember when the Raiders rolled in? It was it's when things really started to get ugly for Josh McDaniels. Darren McFadden ran all over him left and right, up and down the field. I think they were up 21-0 in like the blink of an eye.
Is that 59-14?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah.
We'd all like that because we think the Raiders are bad enough they could take a whooping from the Broncos like that. But
Jason Campbell?
I think you're
Is
right.
that the Jason Campbell
of
game?
All people.
I remember
I just remember McFadden just going wherever he wanted to.
The Broncos, I believe in that game, if I'm remembering right, they trailed 30-0, and then Noshan scored and did the bucking Bronco celebration to cut it to 30-6. Yeah,
rough.
Yeah,
it was rough.
That was a bad. Again, this is in the midst of just like an atrocious era of Bronco football, but that's like one of those things, like an indelible memory that is burned out of my brain from that game.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and this game does set up in that manner, does it not?
I went to the bathroom. As the sideline guy, I went to the bathroom, and this was after I got busted for using Eddie Royal's bathroom, so I had to go all the way back to the North Tunnel.
Uh-huh.
By the time I got there, it was 7-0 Raiders. By the time I got in to start said process, it was 14-0 Raiders because, they got our broadcast on in the urinals. By the time I went to wash my hands, they'd thrown a pick six. It was 21-0 by the time I got back out to the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
October
just
24th,
unreal.
2010. Yeah, 59-14. Look at that. I remember the score even. Yeah, that's how bad that thing was. Yeah, Jason Campbell threw for 204 and 2 tutties that day. Darren McFadden rushed for a mere $165. My God. Kyle Orton, 12 of 29 throwing the football, not terribly efficient that day.
Now, threw a couple picks. He was psyched.
Not good. Not good. 59-14. That's Andy. I think this is what this is probably what this game kind of shapes up to be.
But I don't think it will be.
Really?
I don't.
Do you think this team is incapable of doing that?
Well, I mean, they'd have to get some help from the Raiders.
Yeah.
There'd have to be some blown tackles.
Yeah.
Maybe there'd be a pick. See, that's the other odd thing about this defense. They'll turn you over, but they're not exactly they don't have an Aqib Talib.
Well,
pulling pick sixes.
They don't even really turn you over that much.
Right.
It's one of the key differences between what this year is and what the Broncos had in 2015. Denver, by the way, Andy, they have 10 takeaways on the season. That is the 6th fewest of any team in the league. 7 picks, 3 fumble recoveries. And what's wild to me is 13 giveaways by the offense. So actually, the Broncos are -3 in turnover margin for a team that is 10-2, and they are 6-2 in games decided by 7 or fewer points. They play so many one-score games. The fact that they are 10-2 with a negative turnover differential on the season, it's kind of incredible. It speaks to, thank God they don't turn the ball over more than they do.
Well, and again, this is a defense that you can move on.
Yeah.
Like, they'll stop you in the red zone. Good luck scoring touchdowns on them when you get down there, right? For the most part. But, yeah, I mean, that again, I guess that's another reason why maybe the Broncos win 31-7 on Sunday. I don't know. But I just feel like with this defense and the way the offense doesn't really have, like, again,
the consistent
if you
juice.
still had J.K. Dobbins, and I think you'd have a back that could bust you the big run, right? Maybe Bo and Troy hook up for a big play. Maybe it's Bo and Marvin. But again, this offense, for the most part, likes to use double-digit plays to get their scoring drives done, and his defense doesn't seem to bow up till you're about at their 40 or 35.
So I wrote down a list of 5 specific things that I want to see in this game, okay? And I'm getting specific on this stuff. This is what I want to see Denver and Vegas on Sunday at Allegiant Stadium. Number 1, I want a shutout.
Oh, okay.
I want a shut out. I want a you didn't let them score points.
We still have Geno Smith as the QB, right?
Geno Smith will start at quarterback in this game. They scored 7 points. They had a scoring drive last time around. This is a bad football team right now, and they're lifeless. I'd like a shutout. And you can tell me this is a road game all you want, and geographically speaking, I suppose you are correct. There's going to be more Bronco fans than Raider fans at this game. And even if the Raider fans outnumber the Broncos fans, the Bronco fans will be louder because they'll be having a good time. So I would like to see a shutout. I would like a defensive touchdown scored in this game. The Broncos have not scored a touchdown as a defense all season long. Geno Smith has been sacked at a 11% clip this year. That is the highest among qualified QBs. Give me a sack, fumble, and a scoop and score in this game.
All right.
I want a defensive touchdown.
What Nick Bonito did against the Browns, I believe, last year,
Yep,
right?
I'd love it. Yeah, give me a defensive touchdown in this game. It's time for the Broncos to do it. By the way, I did look it up. Plus 450. Broncos defensive touchdown in this game if you wanted to go shopping around for that prop. I want 10 sacks in this game.
10?
I want 10 sacks in this game. Again, they have 3 injured starters on their offensive line. They're starting a bunch of rookies. The Chargers absolutely manhandled Geno Smith last week. I want 10 sacks in this game. I want double-digit sacks. I want Geno Smith to just be consistently getting up off his keister in this game. So that's what I want out of the defense. I want a shutout. I want them to score, and I want 10 sacks. Is that too much to ask? Am I getting greedy?
You might be. I pulled up the box score here. I'm trying to see what they did. Because do you remember the point spread from the last game? What was the line?
When Denver played the Raiders
6th?
at home, it was
Yeah.
like 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one's jumped to 10.
It's at 10?
According to DMac, I believe earlier, he said 10, and that's why he thought we'd get a blowout.
I saw it at 7.5 on BetMGM before I left the house today.
Okay.
Yeah, so 7.5 as a road fave.
Broncos last game. Let me go to the sacks.
Oh, they annihilated Geno
They had
Smith
6.
in that game.
6 sacks total.
Yeah, I want 10 this week. Because the Raiders' offensive line has only gotten worse, and some of it was due to injuries that they suffered against Denver.
Dobbins went for 77 that game.
There's 2 things I want to see on the out of the offense in this game. One of them is, again, it's a specific statistical marker that I want. I want the Broncos to average at least 4 yards per carry in this game. At least 4. I don't think that's much to ask. But again, you're playing a lifeless Raider team. Give me at least 4 yards per carry out of the R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin combination. But this feels like it's a get-right opportunity against a directional school. So that's what I'd like to see the Broncos do. And then the other thing I want to see is I just want to see good enough Bo. I want to see good enough Bo. He was awful when they played a month ago. That was the game that prompted the Sean Payton's probably going to have to move on from Bo Nick's takes coming from the national media. He was awful in that game. Okay, you know what? He played a little bit better in subsequent games. Again, I'm not arguing that he should be in the MVP conversation, but he has played better, okay? He played better against the Raiders. He played better in spurts against the Manders, or better against the Chiefs, better in spurts against the Manders. I want to see just like good enough Bo Nix in this game. I don't want to see Bo Nix play so crappy that this becomes a one-score game, which is exactly what happened last time. So those are the 5 things I specifically want in this game. Shut the Raiders out, score a defensive touchdown, sack Geno Smith 10 times, average 4 yards per carry, and have Bo Nix not stink.
Well, I would ask this. Bo's got to have a better than a 54.2 rating. QBR was 25.4.
That's
Take the pick of what you like.
bad.
Do you realize that Geno Smith actually outrated him
Yeah.
in that game by 60.3?
I actually thought Geno played kind of good in that game. For a team that only scored 7 points and he was on one leg, as that game was going on, I was like, Geno Smith is a tough dude. He's getting older and he's on a terrible team, but he is a tough dude.
That was one puke game for the nation to witness.
Sure
as I look
was.
back on it, especially when you think back to last night's Thursday night game. Although last night you had 2 teams that actually had a full week between Thursdays because they both played on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, last night was
Probably
real
helped
fun.
the product.
Yeah, nice job, Dan Campbell.
All right. Well, you know what? I got a few more things here's what's got to get better. We'll keep talking about that.
Yeah, we'll talk to Mike Sanford coming up here in a minute. Jeff Legwald's going to stop by. Nick Kosmiter's going to stop by. We got 2 hours. We're live at the wonderful Old Man Bar and Beer Garden here in Broomfield on a Bud Light Football Friday. So stop by, sign up. Because you can win Broncos Jags tickets from our friends at Bud Light. Pair of tickets to the Broncos Jaguars game is available to you if you get up here to the Old Man Bar in Broomfield and sign up. That's Andy. I'm Nate. Cole's our engineer. Spring's back at the shop in Lone Tree. This is the Kreckman and Lindahl Show on a Bud Light Football Friday on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Bud Light Football Friday, Kreckman and Lindahl. We are here at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield. You can sign up. By the way, the happy hour crowd is popping. Bud Light VIP tailgate passes and a pair of tickets to the Broncos Jaguars game. Great specials on Bud Light starting. And make sure to enter for the Broncos tickets. We'll see you at the Old Man Bar here in Broomfield. Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Denver Broncos. Remember to enjoy responsibly. We're rolling with you until 5. We're getting the boot for Nuggets Hawks in Atlanta tonight as the road trip continues. Should be a fun one tonight. Hawks coming off of getting blown out by the Clippers the other day, so that'll be a motivated squad. Denver continues to be awesome on the road, so that one should be good. Kaz has the call coming up at 5:30. Berto has got your pregame coverage starting at 5 o'clock here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Let's jump out to the Ramos Law hotline right now. Car accident, you need Ramos Law, medical doctor and attorney. Visit ramoslaw.com. Sandman jumps on. Mike Sanford is with us. Big night, Sandman, 6 o'clock, your alma mater hosting UNLV in the Mountain West Championship game there this evening. But we're going to talk about another form of Broncos, that being the Denver variety. I laid out in segment number 1 my very specific list of things I want out of this game. I want a shutout. I want a defensive touchdown. I want 10 sacks. I want 4 yards per carry on offense. And I want Bo Nix to not stink. What do you need to see Broncos Raiders on Sunday afternoon?
Well, before I jump into that, on a scale of 1 to life-changing, how dang good is my old local watering hole, the Old Man up there in Broomfield? How good is that place?
The Old Man is freaking glorious, my friend.
So good.
Like this place has everything you want. Like I said in the opening segment, Capital B Bar. That is where we are hanging out here today. I love this place. So the only thing the Old Man is
yeah.
The only thing the Old Man is lacking today is the Old Sandman. But let's dive into it, pal. What do you need to see in this game?
Listen, the Old Sandman traded in his Old Man card when he went to Valor. It's not a Valor bar, Sanford. You're going to have to beg to be let back in. I'll just tell you that. This is blue-collar America, son.
Yeah, that's where that's my neighborhood. I was for 3 years when I was coaching at CU, right in that neck of the woods. But, here's the thing. I actually loved your list. I actually brought that up on the last week or so. Is this defense is so good? Why is it not recorded as shutout? It's a great point. And I love that. And what you described basically there, Krecker, is what I've been feeling this whole week. Nick Saban football, average 4 yards per carry, shut out an opponent that is very bad on the offensive side of the football. And then, most importantly, do what Sean Payton has talked about all week, and that's be motivated solely by the fear of failure and that hate to lose more than you actually like to win. Sounds like Saban football here in Denver, Colorado. But I would take it even a step further for me. I want to see an entire game from the Denver Broncos offense where you never go 3 and out. Not once.
Ooh.
I don't want to see 1 3 and out. I want to
no
get the
3 and
down. I want to see the first down every possession in 10 that the Denver Broncos have offensively.
All right.
That's tough to do against a Max Crosby defense.
We don't know if he's playing.
That's true.
Gotta go check that injury report.
Yeah. Have we gotten the latest Raiders injury report today? Because he skipped practice yesterday. Crosby is always dominant against that. Yeah, if he doesn't go again, the Broncos are very effective at taking Brock Bowers out of football games, and especially with a healthy Patrick Surtain playing in this game. I mean, Surtain's matchups against Brock Bowers have always been lopsided in the Broncos' direction, so that's something to watch out for in this game. And it's like once you erase Max Crosby off of their defense, like besides Brock Bowers and Max Crosby, I don't know, Genty's a hell of a player, but that behind that offensive line, he can't do a thing. Nobody on this Raiders team scares you.
Yeah, and I'm not scared whatsoever about the offensive coordinator change to Greg Olson. We went back and looked at Greg Olson's resume. You think my resume is crazy on Wikipedia there, Krecker? You should check out old Greg Olson. It actually reminds me a lot of Brennan Marion, except for Brennan Marion's about 22 years younger than Greg Olson, the new Buffs offensive coordinator in the go-go system that you love so much there, Krecker. But, I mean, this is an offensive coordinator change that happened. A lot of mud was slung in the direction of Chip Kelly, saying that he didn't even spit out the right play calls. They were from old systems and schemes and stuff that was never installed. It sounds like there was some good old-fashioned stabbage of the back happening. And if you notice, Greg Olson, one of the most consistent things over his 25-plus years of NFL service is he's been in and out of being the offensive coordinator for the Oakland, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas Raiders. He is one of the confidants of the Davis family, starting with Al and now to the pumpkin pie haircutted freak himself, Mark Davis.
You know what, though? It's a great way to make a living. Like, if you get that family to like you, you're set for life, basically. Like, get on their good side, man. You're getting a paycheck. It's like Joe Lombardi and Sean Payton. Like, no matter what, you're getting a paycheck for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's a good way to live. You might deal with a whole heck of a lot of dysfunction. You might have to see some things that you can't unsee. Can you imagine being around Mark Davis for 20-plus years of your life? Can you imagine some of the things that you would be privy to? But, yeah, it's I think this Raiders franchise right now is even more dysfunctional today than when you played against them. And I think that Chip Kelly firing seemed like it was going to make things better. It seems worse, and I'm not convinced right now that Pete Carroll is ultimately going to be long for this franchise, either by his own decision or by the decision of the Raiders, because it just does not seem like a fit in any way, shape, or form.
All right, Mike. So what did the Raiders do that they like? Here's my problem. I understand by the numbers and by the look and everything on paper. Yeah, the Broncos should blow them out. They should have blown them out a month ago when they met first week in November. So what is going to change this time that they couldn't change the last time they met?
Well, one thing I love, Andy, is there's a 0% chance that you will see wind gusts greater than 4 miles per hour inside of Allegiant. It's a dome stadium. And I think Bo Nix struggled mightily with the conditions. I don't think that Bo himself, if there's one thing that I would say that would be the Achilles heel of Bo Nix from a weather standpoint, it's not rain, it's not snow. It's a stiff, good old-fashioned northeasterly wind, and that's what he struggled with. The ball was entirely inaccurate. You became one-dimensional, and it allowed one of the best NFL run stuffers, and statistically even this year in Max Crosby, to tee off on the run game, and the Broncos just couldn't really get a first down. You want to talk about, like, my desire for this game? Get the first down and do it every single offensive possession. Last time, how many 3-and-outs were there last time against the Raiders? Was it 7?
Oh, God, 8, 7, 8, whatever it was. It was. That's if we were counting, because remember, they got the turnover deep into Raiders territory, but then they moved backwards 2 yards and ended up having to kick a field goal on that possession, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, it was a 3-and-out fest.
Yeah, it was, and I really do think that Bo is the type of quarterback that never just plays horrible, bad football for 4 quarters and overtime. He always finds a way to typically piece together a meaningful quarter or a meaningful drive that has led to victories. But I also think that Bo Nix does get a hot hand. He did it last year. You guys remember, like, the hot hand that he picked up, and it kind of started with the Tampa game, if you will, but it was more a little bit later in the season. You just kind of had this feeling that Bo Nix was going to play really just at least adequate, solid, consistent football. And after what he was able to do both against the Chiefs and then again just last week against the Manders with the bye week built in there and then the mini bye, I think that Bo Nix is getting ready to play his best football of the season, and I think it's going to be perfect timing for the Broncos.
All right, Mike, where do they get that 77 yards of offense they got from? That was the number. That was how much J.K. Dobbins rushed for on 18 carries.
Oh, yeah.
Averaged 4.3 a tug. So where are you getting that from? How do you make up for that? Where do we find the replacement?
I believe that R.J. Harvey's a rookie running back that's shown positive signs, and you just got to let him work through it. You know, and you still have a really good offensive line, unlike the Raiders, who have Ashton Jeanty running behind, as Nate said so eloquently, an impossible task of trying to run the football. I think that R.J. Harvey grows up in front of our eyes as the season progresses. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but what I would say is that he's talented. He's got a burst. He's already shown that he can be a very elusive player when given the right chance. I just think he's got to get more reps, time on task within the schemes and concepts that the Broncos are running, and I think it's going to get better and better. And then I'm still very bullish on Jaleel McLaughlin. I want to see 8 touches for Jaleel McLaughlin in this game, and I want to see 20 total touches for RJ Harvey total.
Sandman, before we get you out of here, and again, it's a Bud Light Football Friday. We're live at the Old Man Bar today here in Broomfield. By the way, places, I mean, get in here. There's like odd table available. It is packed. It is happening. So get in here to the Old Man in Broomfield on a Bud Light Football Friday. But before we get you out of here, you mentioned Brennan Marion before. I love this hire for CU. I think he's a really good football coach. He has been on a steady climb, but I loved what he did at UNLV for a couple of years on Barry Odom's staff, took the head job at Sac State. Now he jumps over here to the University of Colorado. I think he's a really good football coach, but I think here's the more important question, okay? When it comes to OC hires, it happened to Sean Lewis, it happened to Pat Shurmur. Is Brennan Marion going to be the play caller for all 12 games next year for CU?
That's a really, really good point. Here's the best thing about the Brennan Marion hire that I see. There are a lot of things that I know a lot of people in the industry that have very mixed feelings about Brennan Marion, to put it lightly. But one thing I do know is that his go-go offense, even if it might be a little gimmicky, even if he had to give it a name and he has a gold chain that says go-go on it, they run the football. That's one thing that this thing is built to run the football. Now, is Juju Lewis going to be the quarterback? I don't think so. I don't. You basically need a glorified running back to run the system at the quarterback position. And if Coach Prime doubles down on just his desire to be a dominant ground and pound team, which would be a huge change in direction from the last 2-3 years, then he hired the right guy. Second thing is that Brennan Marion will hustle in recruiting. And that's what I think that needs to happen. If you look across the signing date here, even for high schools in the state of Colorado, Cherry Creek, by the way, guys, just had 10 guys sign Division I scholarships. Not one went to CU. Obviously, that's got to change.
Can't have that.
Brennan Marion's that guy.
Yeah, by the way, Cherry Creek's best player, Jaden Fox, is going to Brennan Marion's old stomping grounds there at UNLV. But Marion, by the way.
Fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend.
Did he flip?
There were 2 massive flips late in the recruiting here in the state of Colorado. Legend quarterback DJ Bordeaux flipped from Boston College, which he decommitted from 2-3 weeks ago, to Mr. Chesney, Bob Chesney's UCLA Bruins, as did Cherry Creek running back Jaden Fox. Signed his national letter of intent to be a Big Ten football player on scholarship with the UCLA Bruins in Westwood, California.
I had not caught that. Good catch. See, this is why I get recruiting pipeline guy Mike Sanford here on this show. That's why you do it right there.
Closely.
Well done,
I figured
pal.
out this year, so teams that we played against, we competed against 25 Division I scholarship seniors. Colorado high school football is egregiously under-recruited, and I am going to call out Jim Mora and Coach Prime to say it's time to put the fence around it. You see Mason Bonner, tight end from Mullen, go to University of Michigan. Cannon Smith from Valor, our own, went to USC. Those players are more than capable of playing for CU, and we want to send them to CU and CSU. We do.
By the way, Jim Mora, he's got to be at Canvas Stadium tomorrow. He has to be. That's a bad look.
He has to be.
If the state championship game is played on your campus and you're not there. So that's one of those where it's just like appearances actually do matter. I think he's got to be there. Sandman, we appreciate it, buddy. Have a great weekend, and we miss you here today at the Old Man.
You know he's going to be texting us tomorrow during that game.
Oh, you know it.
You know it.
He's going to be locked in.
It's going to be hard for me, man. It's going to be hard. I might be an old man myself on the couch consuming something, you know?
Yeah.
Thinking about what could have been. What could have been.
Yeah, that's kind of your whole life, though. Sandman, thanks, pal.
What? Hey, whoa.
Mike Sanford with us there on a Bud Light Football Friday. We're rolling with you here until 6 o'clock. Let's take a break. When we come back, our buddy Nick Kosmiter is going to jump on board. Let's get into some of the Broncos news and notes going into this matchup and just why the Broncos are so good in close games. We're live at the Old Man Bar here in Broomfield. You can get down here. We're giving away Bud Light VIP tailgate passes and a pair of tickets to the Broncos Jaguars game. So come by and see us today at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield. Scott Friday, Bud Light Football Friday. It's all happening here at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield. Kreckman and Lindahl with you today until 5 o'clock because we got the Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks. Berto's got pregame coverage at 5 and tip-off at 5:30 as the road trip continues. Avalanche will be back in action tomorrow against the Rangers. What the hell was that last night? Anyway.
That was...
Hey, you know.
It's that time of year.
You can't win them all.
Seriously, it's that time of year, is it not?
Can't win them all. We'll have to just. Sometimes the puck bounces off of weird things, and sometimes you can completely interfere with the goalie, and the goal still counts.
Did you hear Bednar after the game talking about that non-interference?
He was hot.
He was pretty fired up. I don't blame him.
That was a real. Blackwood acted like he was just like, well, the play's dead. I'll just lay here for a minute.
Right.
Yeah, it was odd. Nick Kosmider. He covers the Broncos for TheAthletic.com. He joins us now on the Ramos Law Hotline. Nick, let's start with this, and you wrote a little bit about this week. How has this team gotten so comfortable in surviving one-score games?
Because they've had a wealth of experience in them. They've had a ample opportunity to be in those games and to kind of do different things to try to, help figure out how to get them done. And I think one of the things that you can really point to with this team is like, they don't have this like naivete that it's not going to continue to be like this, right? I mean, this is something that they have dealt with since the start of the season, really going back to week 1 when they, had a closer than expected game against the Titans. They continue to be in these games. Alex Singleton said after the win against the Commanders, like, hey, like, why don't we'll just go ahead and schedule ourselves for these kind of games. And, the one thing I hear a lot of people say, like, is it sustainable to win this way? Well, whether it is or not, these are the kind of games that are going to populate December and January. So, from that perspective, to have something to pull from, I think is going to be beneficial for this team.
See, Nick, the thing that I don't like about the sustainable question is we're at week 12. And like you said, listen, if not for the what was the big penalty against the Colts? I mean, they would have had another one of these stupid wins under their belt, right? It's just how they win. And when you're making the plays, like, again, Nick Bonito knocked that pass down. It's not like he overthrew his guy on the throw or – field goal kickers are constantly missing field goals. They're making plays that they need to make. And the other thing I think is different than maybe let's take the Bears of the double doink era where they had a lot of stuff go their way. They've had to come back in so many of these games. The Giants answered the comeback. They came back anyway. Like, again, this team is legit resilient, and I don't think they get enough respect for that.
Yeah, and I think the other part of that, it's a great point, Andy. And one of the things that I also took away from talking to Alex in the locker room after the game was like, he said it'd be one thing if it was just one way that you're doing this or one unit that kind of seemed to pull it out all the time. We know this defense has been phenomenal, but when it comes to like closing these games out and finishing them, you really have gotten the contributions across the board. Like, Bo Nix goes 4 for 4 for 71 yards in an overtime drive to help them grab the lead and really put the pressure on Washington all the way through that 2-point conversion. Couple weeks ago when they played the Raiders and not a whole lot else was going right, they come up with a blocked punt that sort of leads to ultimately the go-ahead score in a game where, again, not much else was going right for Denver. So they've been able to pull different levers to get it done. And I think, especially the way that the special teams have been starting to perform a little bit better over the last 3 or 4 weeks, they feel like they're going into a season where, hey, look, we've done this together. I think that's the part that this team enjoys is that, like, the offense has its struggles. Even the defense at times, like on Sunday against Washington, is not going to be perfect, but they've just been able to lean on each other at different times to get it done.
Nick Kosmider of The Athletic is our guest on a Bud Light Football Friday. Kreckman and Lindahl live at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield as we get you set for Broncos Raiders coming up here on Sunday afternoon. Nick, you did a deep dive into Club Dub this week, man. What did you learn about the smoke machine and, as Sean Payton calls it, the sound machine that the Broncos are celebrating with after games?
So it's funny. That all started when so our old friend Nikki Javala, she texted me like it was either late Sunday night or later Monday. Like it all kind of blends together. But I think there had been made mention of like the smoke machine. She asked me like, do players actually like that? And it kind of was like one of those things where you're like, I don't know, I should find out. And so just kind of like talking to them about it, like it is unique. And Sean Payton even said, he got asked about it again today and says, they're not trying to say they've reinvented the wheel in terms of how you celebrate, But the idea is that, like, if you're going to do something, like, do it up, like, do it all the way. That's sort of how he kind of views, like, the details of the thing. Of, like, if we're going to create a production in the locker room to celebrate these wins. And I think part of that is, like, building this feeling that you want to continue chasing. He has said that he believes winning is addictive. And as they've built this winning streak, talking to players, like, it really does kind of have that feel. And part of it is, like, you want to be in that locker room, you know, dancing and kind of just having that vibe after a win. Like, that becomes something that they continue to want to taste each and every week, regardless of what it means for the standings or anything else. It's just literally about this, like, moment of being in the locker room and continuing the party. So that's really, I think, where it comes from. And, you know, and again, like, they've been able to build on it all year.
All right. I'm real curious because a lot of people think that, and I think Nate, I guess, is one of them. We have a lot of folks on this station that believe we're going to get the butt kicking coming up Sunday that we thought we were going to get at the start of the month of November. Nick, I just don't know that this team is built for butt kickings because I think their offense, for the most part, needs to go, you know, double-digit plays to get a score. I think the defense doesn't bow up until they get near the red zone. I just don't know that this is, you know, quick strike, quick stop all the time kind of units we're dealing with here. Why will this game Sunday, if you believe it, look different than the one we just saw on November 6th?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I'm kind of with you in that, like, I don't really sit there and look at any game of, like, yeah, they're going to roll, because it's just not what they've done. It's not how they've won. They kind of seem to do just what they need to do in order to win and not a whole lot else. Obviously, there are a couple exceptions being, you know, Cincinnati and Dallas. Dallas was a game where, like, you know, Sean Payton really got enticed about the idea of, like, racing the number one offense in the league and kind of having that matchup. I think with the Raiders, you know, I really do think where they were at, the way that game fell, you know, 7th game in 38 days on a Thursday night, London travel, all that kind of stuff. I really do think fatigue was a part of that game, more so than probably, you know, we really talked about at the time. And so I think they're fresher. There's so much more clarity in what it is that they're pursuing now. And so I think motivation clearly not going to be a factor. Zach Allen looks like he's going to play, which was kind of a big sigh of relief. After he was DNP yesterday in practice. So, you know, they should be able to do it just based on kind of where they're at in the season. But again, I just don't necessarily count on that given that it's just been so infrequent.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about the offense. I think you can blow the Raiders out with your offense being what it is. And Nick, I mean, this is what I started the show with today. I want to see the Broncos shut out the Raiders in this game because I think this defense can do it as bad as this Raiders offense. I mean, the Chargers absolutely destroyed them with their pass rush last week. And guess what? The Broncos' pass rush is even better. I want a shutout. I want a defensive touchdown. I think this is the week to finally get one. I want 10 sacks in this game, which I think Denver can do with almost no home field advantage for the Raiders when they play at Allegiant Stadium. Like, I think if the Broncos win this game like 23-0, that's a blowout right there. And, like, again, I don't think the blowout comes courtesy of offensive fireworks. I think the blowout comes from the fact that Geno Smith and Greg Olsen and the Raiders can't score any points.
Yeah, and you know, obviously this is a even more fierce pass rush than what the Chargers throw at you. Although obviously they're a good front as
Pretty
well.
Good. But they're not the Broncos.
This is a team I think after a couple games in a row. You know, they're not going to play quick game. Like, you know, I thought Cliff Kingsbury had a really good game plan against the Broncos on Sunday night. Like, he sort of understood, you know, what they didn't want to, like, put themselves into in terms of vulnerability against that pass rush. A lot of quick game. You know, they did quarterback kind of, you know, option design run stuff more than we've seen other teams do this year. That was the first game a quarterback hurt them with his legs. You're not going to see that with Geno Smith, and they're just not built for that kind of quick hit pass game, you know, that we saw from Washington. So I agree with you. I really do think this is an opportunity for the defense to eat. I don't think the Broncos sweat this game. I just, again, like, funky stuff in the division. You know, this is kind of the last game before you hit that 4-game stretch where we know that you're playing playoff caliber opponents every week. But again, this is such a huge game. I'm sure you guys have talked about it, but tiebreaker, right? You win this game, you have the tiebreaker over New England. And this is a 2-team race. I think our simulator has it that only a 7% chance of anybody else to take the number 1 seed in the AFC. So this comes down to the Patriots and the Broncos. The Broncos win on Sunday. All they have to do across the last 4 games is match New England's record in those final 4, and they'll have the number 1 seed.
Very doable. Nick Kosmider, everybody. Nick, have a great trip to Vegas, man. Enjoy covering a game at Allegiant Stadium. We appreciate it.
Will do. Thanks, fellas. Take care. Bye.
All right, Nick Kosmider, TheAthletic.com. Subscribe to The Athletic. Read Nick's stuff. It is really, really good. Andy, a couple of numbers from last week for the Raiders offense under Greg Olson after Chip Kelly was fired against the Chargers. Ashton Genty, 15 carries for 31 yards. 2.1 yards per carry. His longest carry was 9 yards. 4 carries went for negative yardage.
Who did they face?
The Chargers last week.
Chargers, okay.
Geno Smith was sacked 5 times, pressured on 43% of his dropbacks. He has been sacked 25 times the past 4 games.
6 by Denver.
Yeah.
What,
yeah.
Is that part of the 4?
That's in the 4. I don't know. You
want 10.
I see what Kosmider's point is. Like, we talked about it all week. Cliff Kingsbury had a great game plan last week. I just flat out don't think the Raiders can replicate it with 3 injuries to starters on their offensive line.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Sean put a little chum in the water today to make sure that the Raiders can't replicate some of what the Manders did.
Zach Allen is good to go. He's going to play.
DJ Jones is out, though.
DJ Jones is out, which
not a shock.
You know what? I think if there's a game you can afford to not have DJ Jones, it's against this Raiders offensive
line.
line.
I didn't think we'd be saying that about Ashton Genty beginning of the year, but, man, it really has not gone the way I thought.
No, he's really good. Like, when you watch him play, his yards before contact is one of the lowest in the entire NFL because they block nobody for that guy. It's almost like, and our buddy Adam Hill points this out all the time, it's almost like that team was in no position to use the number 6 overall pick on a running back. They had massive foundational issues that they had to fix, and they decided not to. Jeff Legwald coming up at 20 minutes after 4 o'clock. Kreckman and Lindahl, the Old Man Bar in Broomfield on a Bud Light Football Friday. Great Bud Light special, so stop by and see us here today. You can watch every single Broncos game here. And, by the way, while you're here today, make sure you sign up. We're giving away Bud Light VIP tailgate passes and a pair of tickets to the Broncos-Jaguars game. Great specials on Bud Light, so come by and see us here today. We're taking you up until 5 o'clock. Nuggets and Atlanta. Pregame show starts at 5, powered by Ramos Law, as the Nuggets will continue their East Coast road trip in Atlanta. This is the Kreckman and Lindahl Show. You're listening to Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Scott Friday, Kreckman and Lindahl, and we're live at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield on a Bud Light Football Friday. The food here is fantastic, by the way. I had the smoked turkey. They make all their barbecue sauces in-house. The Carolina mustard, just chef's kiss. Literally, to whomever the chef is here at the Old Man
here.
Bar.
Nate wants to give him a little peck on the
I
cheek.
would give you a kiss, sir, for that barbecue sauce.
That alone will keep him in the kitchen.
Bud Light Football Friday, great Bud Light specials, and you can sign up to win Broncos Jaguars tickets, courtesy of Bud Light, right here at the Old Man Bar. But right now, we go back to Lone Tree. It's time for the 5 biggest stories of the day from around the NFL as we go storming into the Week 14 weekend in the NFL, which started last night with a real impressive showing from Dan Campbell's Lions and the Cowboys, now with their playoff hopes on life support. Mark Springer, what do we got today?
Let's start with the Broncos injury report. It is powered by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. So tight end Nate Atkins is out once again with a knee injury, and defensive tackle DJ Jones is out. He did not practice all week with an ankle injury. Everybody else is good to go. For the Raiders, Max Crosby did not practice for a second straight day with a knee injury. He's questionable.
Yeah, they're calling Max 6 questionable in this game. Okay, we'll take your word for it, but he did not practice today. He was only a limited participant on Wednesday. Andy, the DJ Jones thing doesn't terribly concern me for this week. It concerns me certainly for future weeks. The part where he never saw the practice field this week is not ideal.
Not ideal at all, so hopefully it was, I don't know what to make of it. He was down pretty much. That was one of those things where he got hurt. I feel like they went to break. Never really saw how he got off the field or how quickly they took him to the locker room, all that. So, yeah, I hope he gets back soon. He's one of their best run stoppers.
Yeah, stalwart
He
member
and
of this
Malcolm Roach
defense.
are a key rotation.
Yeah, you want him out on the field. Again, I think you'll be just fine against this depleted Raiders offensive line. But, in future weeks, going up against the likes of Green Bay and Jacksonville and Kansas City and the Chargers, they'll need G.J. Jones back. But as far as we know, no whispers about IR or anything else like that. Hopefully he'll just miss this game and be all set. But that is your Broncos injury report powered by Ramos Law. What else do we got today, Spring?
High five.
All right, got to hit this news next. So the Giants are on a bye week, and a couple of their quarterbacks, one who was most recently inactive, that being Russell Wilson, and Jameis Winston as well. Since the Giants are on their bye, they're going to get into the TV game this week. Jameis Winston will appear on the Fox pregame shows, and Russell Wilson will be on the CBS pregame shows and all that of the like.
All right, I got a legit question.
All right.
And I'm not being a jerk when I say this, okay?
I mean, you probably are, but
well,
ask it anyway.
maybe it'll sound that way. Are we going to get, legit analysis out of Russell Wilson?
Right.
And I asked that.
No, it's
because when we would ask him a question at the podium, all we got was platitudes and positivity.
And let me list off guys.
And we never broke anything
names.
down.
Exactly. No. Let me just tell you everybody's name. That's what I don't know. Here's my guess, okay, is for this week, probably not, because he's still in the league. And I think that's just an uncomfortable place for – unless you're a real a-hole like Draymond Green, you don't go on television and start ripping guys that are in your own league.
But I mean, even break down what you saw there. You know what I mean?
What that portends for his future career as a broadcaster – I don't know. I don't know what level of honesty we'll get out of Russ.
All right, let me add another question in real quick before you get to your point on this. Has he not gone a little bit of the way of Matt Millen? I used to love Matt Millen as an analyst. I'm dead serious.
He hasn't even become an analyst yet.
Okay, but I mean, should he be at this point?
I know what you mean.
And you do this.
I know what you mean.
Dude, you've had nothing but a brutal fall since you left Seattle, and then Broncos cut you before they paid you. You did not earn a single dollar of what they gave you to go away. It was an extension.
Yeah.
They ate $85 million to make you go away before they paid you $1 on the new contract.
Right.
Does that not kind of kill your credibility to be an analyst for somebody?
Not at all. No.
I guess not. Dan O'Dowd's out there on MLB Network.
No, exactly. Like it, not at all. Like those who can't broadcast, Andy. That's we know that.
Well,
okay. I mean,
I ain't getting that check though to do it.
Right, but no, like some of the best analysts like are not the best players. Like what's funny about it is like inside the NBA, for example, okay? Shaq's the most accomplished player. Chuck was an MVP. Kenny's the best analyst. Now, Kenny was a very good player, but he's the best basketball analyst. Tim Legler never made an all-star team. He's phenomenal breaking down games. When you watch NFL games, like nobody is arguing that Greg Olson should be going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame like a Tony Gonzalez, but Greg Olson's probably the best analyst that we have working today. Hell, he's a lot better than Tom Brady. So quality of player to me has no correlation to quality of analyst.
And fair enough. I'm not trying to make that point. My point is, I'm not positive Russ knows how to read a safety. I'm not positive Russ sees the middle of the field.
Well, he doesn't. He sees the back of his lineman's head.
Right.
Right.
So that's my question.
Which maybe he'll be better now that he can see over everybody.
Look, dude, he was, and maybe he will. You know what? You may be dead right. He may be the master of the telestrator when
Right.
this all goes wrong and break down the coverage perfectly and all that. But you certainly weren't showing me this brain on the field since you left Seattle.
No,
maybe even in Seattle. It was a little bit of his magician at the end to extend a play and find a throw.
Yeah.
Wasn't like you broke the play down and here's where the first read was and blah, blah, blah.
I mean, Orlovsky's pretty good, and he's most famous for running out of the back of an end zone.
Right.
But
Orlovsky breaks down. Here's what the D did. Here was the structure on the routes, things like that.
Yeah, that's the part of it that I know. Here's the thing. I know this. Like, Russ's personality is an F-. So he doesn't have that part of it going for him. Maybe, just maybe, he'll be good at the X's and O's.
Is he going to be Russ or is he going to be Mr. Unlimited? What do you think TV wants?
I think he'll be limited this time around. When he gets an official TV job eventually, then we'll find out. Here's the other flip side of it. Jameis is going to be awesome on TV. Jameis is made for television. He is tailor-made. This is, I think there's going to be a bidding war among the networks whenever Jameis is done playing. I don't know how far he's going to go. I think there will be a bidding war for his services. I think he's going to be great. I don't know if Jameis I'd put him on a desk. I wouldn't put him in a booth, but I'd put him on a desk, and he's going to be marvelous.
I got to see it with Jim Nantz. I want to see Jim Nantz go from Tony Romo to Jameis Winston and just see how much more Nantz can take, because it doesn't feel like Nantz can take too much more Romo.
Yeah, they're going to have to kick Romo to a desk, too. Go ahead, Spring.
High five.
All right, here's an interesting AFC matchup on Sunday morning. The 8-4 Bills are 6-point home favorites against the 4-8 Bengals. Bengals need this one to keep their slim chances alive. Joey Bosa is out for the Bills with hamstring and wrist injuries. The Bengals will get T. Higgins back out of the concussion protocol.
Yeah, so obviously, for the Bills, one thing to remember on the Bills, okay, is it's been up and down, to say the least, for that football team so far. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that this is the time of year the Bills go on a run.
Sure.
It starts with a home game against Cincinnati and their dog butt defense, even if Burrow's playing and even if T. Higgins can go. You got a road game at New England to fight your way back into your divisional race. And then Cleveland, the Eagles, and the Jets to be able to finish things off. I look at that schedule, Andy, and it screams 4-1 at me. I'm not going to kick out the realm of possibility that the Bills could finish 13-4 and slug their way back into a fight for the 1 seed right now. So that's one of the things that I'm kind of circling right now, right at this time of year, is okay, it's been up and down, to say the least, so far for both Buffalo and Baltimore. Which one of those teams is going to cement themselves and show that they're dangerous right now?
I'm giving up on Baltimore. I don't know.
Have you really?
First off, they don't stay healthy.
No.
Secondly, every time I think, it's kind of like with the Broncos, where every time everybody thinks this will be the blowout week,
yeah,
the blowout doesn't happen. Yeah, I don't know, man. The vibes feel weird in Baltimore. It feels like maybe Harbaugh is starting to feel some pressure in there. Now, again, the division's bad, and maybe that ends up being in their favor. Buffalo is a team that I do think Buffalo has been closer lately than Baltimore, I think. Remember, Baltimore knocked Buffalo out a couple years ago.
Yep.
So I just feel like of those two, the Bills have the better shot at pulling what I like to call the 97 Broncos, back when the Broncos had lost a couple games in Pittsburgh. They lost a game in 49er land. Everybody thought they were cooked. They come out and have the greatest playoff run of their life. I could see that happening. I could see that happening for the Bills. Now, I don't know. Maybe they don't have the defense. By the way, how about Darius Slay deciding he don't want to go play there?
I know, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I want to play football. No, you don't want to play football in that cold.
Go ahead, Spring.
High five.
Big NFC North matchup Sunday afternoon. The Packers hosting the Bears. For the Bears, wide receiver Rome Odunze is out with a foot injury. And for the Packers, who the Broncos will see the following weekend, linebacker Quay Walker is set to play after missing the last 2 games with a neck injury.
Andy, this to me feels like a get-right opportunity for the Packers. And I just think Caleb Williams is going to struggle against that Green Bay defense. He's going to need the run game to carry him in this matchup. If the Bears pull this out up at Lambeau, I believe Ben Johnson will jump for Abel for Coach of the Year if the Bears can go and get this victory. But this, to me, kind of sets up for a Bears defense that has no pass rush whatsoever to get a little bit cooked here against Jordan Love.
All right. Which coach do you trust more, LaFleur or Ben Johnson at this point? LaFleur's had a little.
Yeah, LaFleur's got a much longer track record, and I would go with Matt LaFleur only because this guy wins every single year and has been historically dominant against Chicago. I know this is a new look team with Ben Johnson. Again, with Ben Johnson, it's are you the 1-year flash in the pan? Are you Brian Dable his first year with the Giants, or are you going to be good for the long haul? I think Ben Johnson's a real good football coach. What he did in Detroit was absolutely incredible. But we've seen this story before.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
but I just feel
LaFleur has the track record.
But I also feel like LaFleur also has a few games every year where you're just like, what'd you do there? What happened there?
Yeah.
Why aren't
lost to the Browns this year. Lost to the Panthers this year. He's had weird games this season.
Well, and just go back to his Aaron Rodgers days.
Yep.
You had MVP caliber Aaron Rodgers, and always is something where you're like, really, you're going to lose to the Niners in your own stadium in the playoffs? Okay.
We have MVP caliber Jeff Legwold coming up here on the other side on a Bud Light Football Friday. We're live at the Old Man Bar, but we're previewing Broncos Raiders with Leggy next. Hey guys, Nate Kreckman here for Roller Auction. Get to roller.bid/altitude right now. Sign up to bid and get on the email list because that enters you to win a pair of tickets in the suite, catered suite for New Year's Eve, Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. So get to roller.bid/altitude right now and sign up to bid. Great place to do some holiday shopping is Roller Auction's website, roller.bid. They got the Planet Open Box auction available for you to be able to bid right now. Guys, go flipping through this thing right now. Every time I turn on the television, there's another commercial telling me to go out and buy tools for my loved ones. Go buy some new power tools this holiday season. You're not going to beat the prices that are available right now at Roller Auction. Get to roller.bid. Check out this Planet Open Box auction, which is up to be able to bid right now. I mean, I'm looking at this Milwaukee cordless circular saw right now. This thing's available for less than $30. Guys, go to roller.bid right now and get some great deals, gifts that get the job done with their Planet Open Box auction. Go to roller.bid. Scott Friday and a Bud Light Football Friday. We are live with you here today at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield. Kreckman and Lindahl. Let's jump out to the Ramos Law Hotline right now here on a Friday afternoon as we get you set for the Broncos and the Raiders in Vegas Sunday afternoon. Jeff Legwald of ESPN joins the program. Leggy, let's start with your latest for ESPN.com. I got to be honest with you, man. Even I was surprised. Perhaps not anecdotally so, but certainly numerically so, at the low snap count that Evan Engram has played so far this season. You chart every game very, very carefully. How would you describe the way that Sean Payton and Joe Lombardi have employed the services of Evan Engram so far this year?
Unexpected would be the word I'd use. That's not the tenor they gave when they signed him and all throughout camp and all of the rest of it. And, there wasn't, I couldn't tweak it into the story as I had hoped. But I think some of it, honestly, beyond the play time is also when you look at Bo Nix's advanced metrics. And, I know you always got to be careful with some of these just because of game situations and coverages and if the guy's under duress or whatever. But he is one of the lowest in the league in completions over the middle of the field and to receivers who originate in the slot. And that's where Evan Engram spends a lot of his time. And I think the snap count and those two things are factoring into maybe Engram not having the kind of impact in the offense for a lot of the season that even the Broncos expected.
Now, I know it was on 97-year-old Bobby Wagner, but they hit a couple of those jerk routes over the middle to Evan Engram last week. Do you see that as perhaps any indicator that Knicks will use him more over the middle of the field, or was it simply a matchup blip?
Probably a little of both. I think they've been very intent on trying to give him something in the middle of the field. Now, that's been, I remember talking with you guys way back in camp. When I spoke to defensive coaches in the off season, they all said that they thought people would try to take away the middle of the field from Bo, and I think they've successfully done that a lot of the time, and that's why you're seeing sort of the low numbers in terms of production, between the numbers. But I think Engram, if they're going to fix that coming down the stretch and for any playoff games, he's going to have to be a big part of that because I think he's got to be one of those guys that benefits from all of the attention that Cortland Sutton is still getting from opposing secondary.
Hey, I'm curious, Jeff. How serious is the injury to DJ Jones? Do you have any feel for that yet? We know he's not playing Sunday. Is it going to be a long-term thing? And what can you tell us about Zach Allen? Looks like he's going to go, but is that one to watch?
I don't think it's one to watch in the brief glimpses on Friday we get, but I checked and they listed him as well, but he took part in everything they did today in terms of team drills. So I think it was a big deal that they did not give him the injury designation of any kind, questionable or any of that. So I think their expectation is he takes his full snap count, but again, he's had some moments this year when after a play he's been on the ground a little bit because he takes a lot of punishment in there. But so I guess I'd keep an eye on it a little bit. But I think if things go how they hoped, he shouldn't be limited in any fashion.
What about DJ? Is that a long-term thing with Jones?
Yeah, I don't know if I can definitively tell you how many weeks, but. It is his right ankle. He didn't practice at all this week, and he wasn't even to the point where he was working with the trainers at all on his own or with the other guys who are rehabbing injuries right now. He wasn't with that group at all this week, so he's not even to the point where he's getting the conditioning back to come back to practice. So I think it might be multiple weeks for sure.
Jeff, we talked over the summer about, again, let's harken back to conversations we had going into the season. This one actually did happen, that being this Denver defensive line being as dominant a unit as there is in the entire NFL. So even without DJ Jones in this game, one of the things that we kind of joked about is, like, I guess there's sort of a competition for the sixth defensive lineman and who was going to be able to lock down that job here with the Broncos. How good have the depth guys even been with this group that is, it's as stacked as any position group in the entire NFL?
Yeah, I mean, poor Jordan Jackson and Savion Jones can't even get on the field. And they've, you watch them in practice, and they'd be playing for an awful lot of teams right now. And I think they've both been fortunate and immensely productive in that group. And they've even tried to pay attention. Zach Allen's snap counts, for example, are even a little lower than last year because they feel so good about their depth. Benito and Cooper, outside linebackers, I know, but, they're like at 60% of the snaps. And, that's how good they feel about the depth they have across the front. And I think, honestly, it should pay dividends if they're fortunate enough to play multiple playoff games. But Franklin Myers has had a really good year. Roach has had a really good year. DJ Jones has had a really good year. They've all played at or near their peak level. I wasn't sure Zach Allen could play any better than he did than last year, but he has. I mean, look, think about it. We're in week 14, and it's Zach Allen who has the most quarterback hits in the NFL, more than Myles Garrett. Now, this will probably be the last week that this is true because he's only one ahead of Garrett right now. But for most of the season, I find it incredible that Zach Allen has led the NFL in quarterback hits. That's how productive they've been.
Hey, Leggy, along those lines, this is that time of year where, voting for postseason honors, those conversations start to heat up. Right now, what's your best guess? If I set the over-under at 3.5, how many first or second-team All-Pros will the Denver defense have?
Yeah, I would hope that, people vote that way. I think it would be, first team would be, I think at least 2 for sure, 3. I can't believe you would punish Surtain in any way for missing 3 games because he's an all-pro, whenever. And I think Zach Allen's played at first-team all-pro level. I think Benito's played at first-team all-pro level. If I still had a ballot, I could make an argument for Cooper as a second-team all-pro. I think it would be very easy to do that as well.
Hufanga? Does Hufanga have the kind of reputation?
And I think he's played that well.
Yeah.
Active, always around the ball. And, it's just a matter of, are you paying attention to what's going on with one of the best defenses in the league? But, yeah, I think that's a good number for first or second team just right off the top.
Jeff, the Broncos added Elijah Moore this week, a young receiver, so why not? I heard you talking to the morning guys, and you had said a second-round pick that's going to get on GM's radars. What are they looking for with another receiver? It feels like they've taken a look at quite a few second receivers. I still would love to see a bigger role for Marvin Mims, but not sure I'm ever going to get it. What do you think they're looking for that they don't quite think they have?
Well, it's a great question. I think they have it in Mims, is my personal opinion. I think they just, would like that flex player that can find catches out of multiple spots, and that's in this offense with Sean Payton. Some of the issues with guys is they want you to know all the positions. You don't get this to say I'm the X, or I only play to the open side. I only line up in the slot like a lot of people do. with their receivers that this is not one of those teams. So it can be very difficult to get the precise route tree to such a point where they are willing to play you in all those situations. And, I think Pat Bryant has really shown to be a quality route runner, especially in the last few weeks here. So I think he could have a few more catches. I think Franklin still battles the physicality part of it. When he's facing zone coverages and can find some open space, he's had much better luck than when he's got to battle man coverage a lot more, especially outside of the red zone. He's effective in the red zone against man, but I think the rest of the time he's still developing. So they don't really have that number two who's a well-rounded enough receiver to get all those snaps. I think it should be Mims. I don't know if they're worried about losing him in the return game or because he's had a couple moments this year where he's had some hamstring or groin issues. I don't know if they're nervous about that. They say no, but their actions sort of speak otherwise. And I think Moore just fits into he's too good a player to pass up on. I mean, honestly, the guy had 61 catches last year. I asked a couple other GMs, how can a guy with 61 catches, be on somebody's practice squad? And they didn't really have a good answer for me. So I think that one was worth them taking a look at for sure.
Guys, on Bud Light Football Fridays, we talked to Jeff Legwold. We're live at the Old Man Bar in Broomfield here today. We're giving away Bud Light VIP tailgate passes and a pair of tickets to the Broncos-Jaguars game. So come see us here in Broomfield. We'll be here about another half hour here this afternoon before we get out of here for the Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks. Jeff, okay, I want to run this by you. These are my demands of the Broncos this week, or I suppose strong requests. Demands is maybe a little too much.
I think one you're going to raise an eyebrow to.
Here we go, Leggy. I want a shutout. I think this is the game to do it. I want a defensive touchdown, which they have not scored in a game so far this season. Only 10 takeaways on the year. I want 10 sacks. They sacked Geno 6 times last time around, and they're without 3 starters on their offensive line. I want 4 yards per carry out of this run game. And I want Bo Nix to play well enough, not like he did last time against the Raiders. What say you of my special requests of the Broncos this week?
Well, I'll say if you get them all, they'll obliterate them. That will be an epic afternoon in Vegas.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting fired if that happens. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I will say, I think this is a game where they get back on pace for the sack record. They're on pace to tie it right now, still. But I don't know that Pete Carroll is going to let them throw enough to, after making the change at offensive coordinator to put him in harm's way that often. But it would.
I don't know, man. Genti averaged 2 yards a carry last week against the Chargers, Leggy. They're going to be in 3rd and long a lot in this game.
Well, that's what I mean. And if the Broncos could ever get a lead on somebody, they could, tee off.
Right.
At some point. But they don't ever get that luxury, it seems like. But, yeah, I think definitely it could be if the Raiders aren't just playing at optimum level for everybody they have on the field, it could look like, the Jets in London if they're not careful. Because I do think, that side of the ball is ready to roll for the Broncos. And for me, my list would be an awful lot on offense. It is time for that group to at least look a little more consistent for the playoffs. They don't have to be explosive all the time, but man, it is time not to be near the bottom of the league in 3 and outs, and they are 31st, again, and it's time for that to be over. If you're really going to be serious about January and getting to February. It's time for that.
Yeah, and I mean, Patrick Graham had a great game plan for them last time around. By the way, Jeff, when you talk to your, I guess your former pal over at the Denver Post, now your colleague there at ESPN, Ryan McFadden, covering the Raiders, what is the word on Max Crosby? Did not practice, but listed as questionable. What's going on with him?
Yeah, a little bit of a knee issue, and Pete Carroll did say today publicly he would find it hard to believe Crosby doesn't play, that he thinks he'll play. You don't know how much of that is gamesmanship. If he plays, what it could influence is Crosby's one of the rare defensive linemen who play 100% of the snaps in a lot of games, and that could be impactful because you're going to have a set of plays, and even Sean Payton admitted it today. You're going to have a set of plays you would run if he's not in the game, and that would impact how the Broncos look at things. And today after practice, Sean Payton called their game plan last time against the Raiders awful. That was the word he used, and I think that's correct.
No need to disagree with him on that one. He's Jeff Legwold, everybody, ESPN.com. By the way, Leggy, you would love this old man bar. This place is straight out of Cicero or Calumet City. You'd have a good time at this place, man.
Well, let's put that on the calendar because it's hard for me to believe I should not be in a bar called Old Man.
Dude, they got a stool. You could sit at the corner stool.
Oh, man.
And when everybody walks in and goes, "Where's the old man?" we'll point right at you.
Right at Jeff Legwold, everybody.
I could tell them, remember when stories.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
Yep.
You tell them about your mom flipping the keys to your brother after downshifting the Camaro that he got.
Leggy, man, we appreciate it, buddy. Have a great trip to Vegas. Thank you.
Thanks, fellas. Happy Friday.
All right, Jeff Legwold with us there on a Friday afternoon. We're live at the Old Man Bar on a Bud Light Football Friday. We got Broncos-Raiders drinking game coming up here in just a minute. Before we get to that, though, I just want to point this out really quickly. Before the Nuggets play the Atlanta Hawks tonight, I don't know where else in the show to slam this in here. Andy, Dan Hyatt pointing out today, Jamal Murray's shooting numbers so far this season, he's over 50% from the field. He is over 40% from three. He is at 89% from the free throw line right now. And again, it's early. We're only a quarter of the way into the season. But right now, Jamal is on track to potentially put up the holy grail for shooters, the 50-40-90 season.
Got to get this bench right, get everybody healthy. I'm telling you, I know everyone's intimidated by what OKC's doing, and that's fair.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
But this team is pretty good.
This
Nuggets team's a different beast than a year ago.
50-40-90. Active players that have done it. Kyrie, Steph, Kevin Durant twice. Full list. Steve Nash, Dirk, Reggie Miller, the great Mark Price, Larry Bird, the hick from French Lick.
Okay, does he get his all-star game?
8 players.
This continues?
All time.
Does he get his all-star team?
He didn't have to do this to make the all-star team. He's making the all-star team.
Okay.
Yeah, he's making the all-star team. Yes.
I'll trust you.
This is it, man. Jamal Murray is having the best season of his career. He's eating out there. Yeah, he's absolutely crushing it.
His
so
fantasy owners should be running and breaking their fingers to vote for him.
You guys should be quite happy with everything that he is doing for you. I need Aaron. Speaking of fantasy owners, I need Aaron Gordon to come back right now.
Yeah, well, so do the real Nuggets.
John Stockton shorts greatly require your services right now.
See, I
AG.
wish someday John Stockton, short and fat guy Tutty could get together and have a matchup of pickleball. I don't know.
Let me tell you something. This year, fantasy basketball sucks. It is beyond frustrating to try and figure out what's happening with anybody's injury situation right now in the NBA. I'm having a hell of a time with fantasy buckets. I'm 500, and I'm thrilled to be there. Anyway, it's the Kreckman and Lindahl Show. Everybody needed to know about my fantasy basketball team. We're live at the Old Man Bar, Bud Light Football Friday. We'll take a break when we come back. Oh, that's right, Broncos-Raiders drinking game for Sunday, so keep it here. All right, let's do this. It is time for our Broncos-Raiders drinking game on a Bud Light Football Friday. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Broncos. By the way, congratulations, listener Karen. Karen won herself a pair of tickets for the Broncos and the Jaguars coming up in a few weeks. So way to go, Karen. Congratulations. Thanks to all the great listeners that have come out today to see us here at the Old Man Bar. It is time for your Broncos-Raiders drinking game. Sunday, 2 o'clock, CBS affair. The Andrew Catalan crew.
You know what?
This week, Andy.
I've had enough of Tony Romo. I will welcome an Andrew Catalan game.
It's
is he still with James Lofton, did you say, or is it somebody else?
He's got a McCourty in there.
Oh, okay. Jason?
Who's the other analyst that he's got spring?
Charles Davis.
Charles Davis. Chuck Davis. We've had Charles on the show before.
He's on the verge of friend of the show.
Yeah, there you
Certainly
go.
He's not wishing us luck when we were done.
No. I think he would have even come on again if we, were doing longer radio shows this week. So, let's dive into this thing, okay, Andy? I think we're in for a fun one. I think we're in for a fun one coming up here on Sunday. So let's start in this place. Let's start with the Bo Nix props. Okay,
all right.
Here we go. Andy, should Bo Nix scramble for a first down?
Drink.
You should drink. If Bo Nix overthrows a receiver on a deep ball, a.k.a. Boverthrows, you should drink.
We've not hit that one the last couple weeks, right? I don't think we've had the Boverthrow.
They didn't throw the ball downfield against Washington at all.
I guess you're probably right.
The Commanders really kind of took it away from him. We had one or two against the Chiefs. We're never far from them. I want to add this one on Bo Nix. Should Bo Nix throw any balls at the foot of a receiver?
Drink.
Go ahead and drink. God, we had a lot of those against the Manders. There was like 7 of them. It was getting out of control after a while.
He got a look from Evan Ingram after one of them.
He did, yeah.
It's like that. I don't like that look.
Let's throw in Evan Ingram catch over the middle.
Drake.
Jeff Legwold had some great stuff on the lack of throws over the middle, but hey, they hit 2 of them against the Manders. Maybe they can do so against the Raiders. Should Lil Jordan Humphrey take an offensive snap? You should drink.
How are you going to confirm that? Because he did take some last week.
He'll get a few.
Went back and looked, and you and I were surprised.
He'll get a few. He certainly will get a few.
What's he, 17? Keep your eye open for 17.
Number 17, Lil Jordan Humphrey. Should you get a defensive pass interference called on Riley Moss?
Drink.
Go ahead.
That ain't a drink. That's a drink.
That's a drink.
Yeah, that is a healthy swig.
Yes, that's a drink. Not purple drink, though. No. That's very bad for you.
If you're so in the mood.
Actually, honestly, Andy, given your health condition.
Maybe I ought to try it tomorrow before we call this game.
Maybe a little purple drink.
Just see how it goes.
Before we hit the air. Nick Benito, if he sacks the quarterback, you should drink.
That one has also been a little scarce.
Nick Benito, should he jump off sides? Go ahead and drink. He's been good, I believe, for 3 of those so far this season. I'm going to stray away from holding on 72.
He's earned it.
I'm going to add 10 and give you a holding on 82.
Okay.
A holding on.
Troutman is in the microscope.
Adam Troutman, I could see him grabbing Max Crosby.
We doing the usual McFlinchy then?
3 false starts this season for Mike McGlinchey. Let's go with false start on number 69. Spring, you got it for me?
He's absolved. He's fine.
We're going to go with it. He's been called for 3 false starts this season. We'll go with it. All right. False start on Mike McGlinchey. If the broadcast, Andy, should make any comparisons between Talanoa Hufanga and Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, that was Chris Collinsworth couldn't get it out of his head.
He wouldn't get
now,
it
look,
up.
I get it, but let it go after a minute.
My God, man. Like, we get it. They work out together. They both have long hair. Well, there's too much meat on that bone for a broadcast to ignore. The backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders is one Kenneth Pickett. Kenny Pickett takes a snap, drink.
Half a bottle if they mention he has small hands. He measured small hands at the combine. You got to take half of what you're drinking, and it's gone.
Jared Stidham snap. Finish your drink. That means Bronco blowout. At least
You
we hope
sure?
that's what that means.
You sure?
At least we hope that's what
That
that
better
means.
be what it means.
A Patrick Surtain pass breakup. Go ahead and drink.
Sip.
I tell you what. Let's go sip on a PBU if it is a PBU in coverage of Brock Bowers. And, man, some of that, by the way, some of those, like, coverage metrics on what Surtain has done to Bowers in his career, phenomenal stuff. That's a couple of drinks right there, should he have coverage on Brock Bowers. Into the crowd we go. Any Broncos fans shown on television, there's going to be many of them. I'm talking about a specific close-up shot of an orange-clad Broncos fan.
Bald guy, painted face, that kind of stuff.
Go ahead and drink. If there's any of those weirdos Raiders fans that are dressed like the guys in Guar and you see them on television, you have to drink. Mark Davis shots. Finish your drink and probably pour some acid into your eyeballs to forget that you ever had to see that guy. Should you see
Could you
Mark
imagine
Davis
walking
on
in
TV.
him? He's in the sauna with you.
That's a hell of a visual that you're giving us right there. Anything I missed? Did it?
Nah, I think we're pretty good.
I feel as though that's
Troy
an
Franklin drop
all-encompassing
drink. Throwing that one in.
All right, Troy Franklin drop. I'm adding that to the official list right there. Troy, hang out of the football this week. There you go, everybody. That is your Bronco Raider drinking game for Sunday on a Bud Light Football Friday. Andy, I need a final score prediction. before we
Broncos
get out of here.
24, Raiders 7.
24-7. I'm going to go Denver 23, Raiders 0.
You get your shutouts.
23-0.
Nothing.
Shut out these chumps. We can do it. That's going to do it for the Kreckman and Lindahl Show. Thanks to everybody at the Old Man Bar. Great staff here, great food. Come check this place out. Thanks to everybody with Bud Light, our great promotions crew, and everybody for Spring. For Andy, I'm Nate. Nuggets Hawks next.